Man, I tell you guys what, I am really loving package days around here. And days that I get more than one, those are just a bonus. So I got 3 of them here. This one is from Bill Bacardi. He's actually sending me a lock back. As nice as a guy as he is, he's actually sending me a lock back. This is a lock I picked, then traded off, then turned out and realized that I lost the video for. So, we're going to go ahead and get this one picked when we can. It's called the Monkey Fist by Monkey Lock Picks. But, yeah, I get this one back, and I'll get her picked again, and this time I'll try not to lose the video. And this one here, this is from the a little bit of a payback from the big load of locks that West Coast Picks sent out for us to give away. One of the first guys I sent locks to, he's going by the name of Hillbilly Picker through email, so that's what I'll refer to him as. He's sending me back some challenge locks to take a look at, so we'll get to take a look at them. There's a little envelope there. He's got a little note here too. Let me read it off camera. These are his first attempts at challenge locks. So I am really looking forward to picking these. I love picking first challenge locks. I've only had the opportunity a couple of times. So this one's called the Mountaineer. It's a Schlag Everest. He's a little stiff coming out of there. A lot stiff coming out of there. There we go. Pretty wicked bitting there in the back. Look at that. That would be why that key's having a little bit of trouble coming out. That and this real sharp ledge here. It's almost 90 degrees. So that's trapping that pin 5 pretty well. But yeah, Schlag Everest, C123 keyway. And should be a pretty fun one to pick. I'll try not to put that key all the way back in it. This time we got an American lock at 1100. Spools on parade. Works nice and smooth. Well, worked nice and smooth. There we go. Just back the key out just a little bit. And it worked. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. Very cool, Hillbilly Picker. I look forward to getting into those and taking a look. And I'll go ahead and put your name on those key tags too for when I send them out. That way everybody knows who they're getting their locks from. And this one right here, this is from Chris Ahrens. I'm pretty darn sure this has the Community Lock 2.0 in it, making its way back to me. Which means I finally get to see this thing in person, fully pinned up before it makes its second round of visits. It's going to go back to Potty, then back to Bronx Lockpicker, then back to Bobby Keys, JP McPenney's. And it's going to hit everybody again. Tape, that thing is not wanting to come apart. And I'm sure he's got some other stuff in here too, because me and Chris were trying to work out a trade at one point. We both got a little bit busy. Okay, I think I got everything out of there. Alright, so let's see what Chris stuck in here for us. Let me back this camera up just a little bit. Looks like I see some cool stuff right away. Okay, I've got a Chris Ahrens challenge lock. This is an old Yale. This is pretty long. It's almost like it'll be a 7-pinner or something. I don't think that any of these are the keys for it. Yeah, definitely not. And I see a lot of work on that first pin. You can definitely see some serrations there. So very cool. Chris Ahrens challenge lock. I got an Abus here. It's also got the cross on it, so that would be a Chris Ahrens challenge lock as well. Let me see if that's the key. Ooh, that is the key. And that is one heck of a lock to be making into a challenge lock. Look at that keyway, folks. That is crazy. And it's got a pretty decent bitting on top of it. And once the key goes in, it's nice and smooth. Okay. I've got a Panduit lockout tagout case here. And I bet maybe that Abus key goes with it. So maybe it's an Abus. Oh yeah, it is an Abus lock. It's very cool. And that's all for that package. So I got some cool stuff going here already. So I'm pretty psyched to get into some of this. And this probably is the community lock. And I see an address on here, so, or a partial address, so I'm going to open it off camera. Okay. All right. And that's the business for this package. The Community Lock 2.0 making its return voyage. And this is to Trekmaster from J.P. McPenny. Nice little red bag. And what do we got? We got a... Ooh, he made me one of these keychains specifically for me for the community lock. That's pretty slick. It's got all of our names on it. Me, Potty 314, Bronx Lock Picker 60, Bobby Keys, J.P. McPenny, and Chris Ahrens. Very, very cool. Thank you, J.P. McPenny. I appreciate that. That's pretty darn awesome. A little note wrapped up here, too. Okay. Yep, that's just a note saying that that one was for me. That's a keepsake. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. I haven't really looked at it yet. Got a neat little case. I'm thinking maybe this case may have came from... The first time I saw this case, I think may have been on Bobby Keys' video. So I think maybe the case came from Bronx Lockpicker. That's my guess. I don't know who included it. And there's our lock. It's a beast of a lock. Definitely tell it's had its fair share of picking. Is the bottom of the ring there is worn away. But you get that with all locks if you're picking on them. Doesn't look like anybody's been into the top. Very cool. All right. And one of the things I had as part of this challenge was to make sure that we had working keys. And we closely have working keys. I know Chris Ahrens modified this Quickset Titan key to kind of fit in there and work. He said it fit in there a little awkwardly. You kind of had to rock it to get it in there, but it does turn. So we do have a working key there. And there's our key from our modifications. And it turns, but it only turns in reverse. And now it doesn't turn. Yeah, so there's something hanging this guy up a little bit, but I might wind up making a new key for it, just so we have a working key. And I've got more of this exact blank here, ZA. Alright, so I'm not going to be picking this right now. So I'm going to put it back in its little case. And I've got something a little bit special planned out when I do get around to this. So, alright, let's get some of this stuff out of the way here. And there's our rules. And I want to pick a lock out of the package today. I'm definitely not picking the community lock out of the package. I've seen the people struggle on that thing, and it is a absolute beast. Let's go with... Yeah, let's go with one of these first-time locks here. Spools on Parade by the Hillbilly Lock Picker. Or Hillbilly Picker. And the key doesn't want to work all the time. It works sometimes. There we go. Alright, it's locked up. I love these American locks, and they make fun challenge locks. So, at this point, guys, if I fail, thanks to everybody that mailed in packages today, Bill Bacardi, Hillbilly Picker, and Chris Ahrens. And everybody, please stay safe and don't do anything illegal. That's just if I don't get this open. So, if we get this open, you guys will be lucky enough to hear all of that one more time. That pick might work there. I'm going to grab a 50 thousandths. Eventually, there it is. I need to color code those. That's not a 50 thousandths. There's my 50 thousandths. Okay. Alright, going to go with a homemade hook, kind of a swoop, and it does kind of fit in there. It's a little tight, but we'll see how it works. Never tried this type of hook profile in a lock, in an American lock before, so. Okay, and that one's not going to work. It is a little bit too thick still. That one's been thinned down. Okay, I got a deeper false set. That felt like an overset. Oh wow, I've got back to that deep false set. And there we go. So definitely had some good feedback on the spools. A couple of them were pretty tight, and I didn't really feel them too well, but just enough feedback. Spring tension on these really isn't that rough, but they're all fun to pick. Grab the right screwdriver here. And we'll see what Hillbilly Picker stuck in here. I'll need a different follower as well. Since that key only works sometimes, I'll try to get this clip off without using it. Okay, I need a shim. I've got plenty of them right here. And let's go ahead and give this one a go. Okay, looks like pin 1 was a complete trap. So as long as I avoided touching it, I wasn't going to overset it. And the rest of them definitely needed to be picked. Okay, 1 is a really long standard. 2 is a standard. 3 is a standard. 4 is a serrated. 5 is serrated. And 6 is a standard. Looking at the plug here, I don't see any modifications other than the fact that it looks like the tops have been chamfered here. And one of the things that actually causes the chamfered top, it kind of makes the lock a little bit easier to pick. You kind of have to get them just close to the shear line, and then they'll ride over that chamfering. So if you're making challenge locks, you might want to avoid doing that so much. Just a little tiny bit to take off a sharp edge every once in a while, but that might be a little bit too much. Just a little bit tip there for you, hillbilly picker. And focus. Okay, I've got a serrated in 1. But since 1 didn't have to be picked, it could have been a standard. Okay, I've got a spool in 2. And a different type of spring. This time it was copper. And a spool with a copper spring in 3. Different type of spool. This one's serrated. Then a serrated spool in 4, and I don't think it has a spring. So let's go ahead and turn this around. Then another serrated spool. Another really light spring. Much more spring tension on that one. It's a different type of spool. And that's a steel spring. Let me give this a good knock here for chamber 4. There we go. Chamber 4's got this little bitty spring. Little bitty thing. So definitely changed up spring tensions. Changes the way the lock feels. Different types of spools. That gives a different feel. Actually, I didn't expect to feel standard type spools in there, and I did feel them when I was picking. And then, like I said, the serrated here really didn't do anything since 1 was so long, but I don't know. Just pretty good. I like to make these challenging bittings, but I don't like to have a pin right at the shear line. I like to have it kind of close. That way you still have to move it a little bit. But not bad for one of your first locks, man. Hillbilly Picker, thank you. Pretty fun. Oh, I didn't look here. There was no modifications up top. So there we go. All right. Everyone that sent me stuff today, thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. And everyone else, thanks for coming and watching this video. If you like to see more of them, press the subscribe button. If you want to say anything, comment, feel free. I don't censor any comments. So the third thing is, don't do anything illegal.